everybody, today I'm going to be showing you how to make kombucha. I have here a batch that I've already made, and the very first thing that I do is I test it to make sure that it tastes about right, and you can determine for yourself whether you want it sweet or whether you want it a little more vinegary. It's a little bit overdone for us. We'd like it a little bit sweeter, but we're going to go ahead and bottle it today. But first, before I start bottling it, I'm going to go ahead and get my next batch going. So right here I have pour tea, and we actually bought this accidentally. We were trying to buy some green tea, and we got this, which was right next to the green tea, and we got this by mistake, and we tried it, and we thought it was so good, and we decided to go ahead and make some kombucha with it, and it was really, really good, and it turned out really, really nice. So I went ahead and put these in here. I usually do about 12. So let's see here. This is a 2-gallon thing, so I'd say about 6 tea bags per gallon. And when you put the tea bag in, do not tear the string from here, or else you'll end up with loose leaves in your tea. You want to just go ahead and take this off right there. Here's my boiling water, and I'm just going to go ahead and fill it up. Not all the way, but just part way, enough that I can get the tea to steep. And then we will let those set for a little while and steep. And while those are steeping, I'm going to go ahead and start bottling our next batch. So I'm going to go ahead and bottle these. Now what we do is for flavor, we like to take some juice. This is apple raspberry, and then I'm also going to be doing cranberry. And these are just regular juice that you can buy at the store. And I go ahead and I just try and fill up probably about a little under an inch on the bottom. Depends on how much you like the flavor and how much kombucha taste you want to keep, how much of the flavoring you want to have. Well, that didn't help. Well, this hates me. There we go. Okay, we'll do this one first then. Alright. So what I do is I just pour this in the bottle, which by the way, these bottles, we actually got these at Dollar Tree. And we got them, 24 of them from Dollar Tree, but you can also buy them on Amazon as well. So I usually put about this much in it. And then I just take it, and I take our kombucha, and I fill it the rest of the way with kombucha. It is a little bit slow going as it fills up. It depends on your system of kombucha. Sometimes you'll get little scobies stuck up here, and I have to take a little pick and kind of pick the SCOBY out. Whoopsies. This is what happens when you're not paying attention. Okay? And then what I do is I just seal it up. I push it down real good and seal it up. Then I do one turn to make sure it's mixed. And then there it is. And what it'll do is over time, over the next 2 or 3 days, it will carbonate, and then you'll have a nice fizzy drink that tastes kind of like a spritzer. And since this has juice in it, it will add to the sweetness as well, and it will eat the sugars of it as well. So, since these have steeped for a little bit, I'm going to go ahead and add 2 cups of sugar, 1 cup for each gallon. And this is what the SCOBY eats. This is what it does to turn it into kombucha, is it eats the sugar. So I'm going to do 2 cups. And then I'm going to stir that together. Make sure it's all melted in there. And you definitely want to add the sugar in while it's hot, or else you're going to just end up with a mess of sugar on the bottom of your kombucha container. Alright, so here's what I was telling you about. There's a little piece of SCOBY that got caught in the spout, so I just pull that out. And then I just take this little hook type thing and I just make sure that I got it all out of there and just try and scrape it out if there's any more in it. And what it does is it tends to slow it down because it's stuck in the mechanism of it. So, and I think it mostly came out when I pulled it out. Oh, there's a piece. Anyways.
Okay.
So we still thought we were recording, and unfortunately the camera was not going, but what I did was I took the bowl of tea and I went ahead and poured it in here. And if you want to take a look at our SCOBY right here, you'll see dark brown and a light cream color. The dark brown is actually yeast, and this is a yeasty drink, so there will be yeast in it, and then the white is the SCOBY, which is the mother. So I'm just going to go ahead and top it off with water, because if you remember, I put in enough tea to do 2 gallons and enough sugar to do 2 gallons. So I'm just going to top that off. And if you notice, there is a thin part on the SCOBY. Go ahead and show them inside right here. If you look right there, it's really thin right there. I don't know if you can see that, but that is because I went ahead and took a cutting from it, because when we switched teas, we weren't sure how the SCOBY would react to the new tea, because sometimes they don't react well. So what I did is I cut out a little triangle of it and put it in the refrigerator, save it just in case this tea didn't work out, but thankfully it switched to a different kind of tea just fine. Now, when your kombucha is fermenting, you're going to cover it with a coffee filter or some kind of thin, breathable cloth, but able to breathe, but not get any kind of bacteria or anything floating into it. And then I just take a rubber band and put it on there. And then what I do is each day, after a couple days, I'll start checking it to see how the taste is, and I'll try a little bit, and we're like, oh, it's still too sugary, so we'll go another day, try it again, still too sugary, until we get just right, the way that we like it, and then that's when we go ahead and bottle it. And when we do bottle it, it will be sugary because there is sugar in the juice. So it all depends upon your preference and the way that you like the kombucha. So make sure you like and share this video, comment below, and thanks for watching. So one thing that I need to mention is when you're doing your kombucha, when you're taking one tea out and then adding new tea in, you need to make sure that you leave some starter tea in the bottom with the SCOBY. And usually you try to leave at least 1 cup of starter tea per gallon that you're going to be making. So I had about 2 cups, probably more than that, because sometimes I leave extra in. But just make sure that you have some starter tea. Don't just pour in new tea completely. You don't want to do that. You got to make sure you have some starter tea.